This is Beyond the Moon, a Ditch Witch podcast where we dig deep into news, job site stories, Ditch Witch culture, and all the other dirt that makes up the industry.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Beyond the Moon, a Ditch Witch podcast. I'm your host, John Hubbard, joined by Mr. Brett Romer today. How are you, sir?
Good, you, sir?
Good. Before we get going, I have to ask, you have to tell me if you're a police officer before we get started. Are you a cop?
You know, it's debatable.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay.
We'll leave it at that.
Good. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. We might circle back to that here in a little bit. But viewers, you may notice that we have a little bit different backdrop today. That means we are at ABC, which stands for Annual Business Conference for the Ditch Witch Division. Right, so we fly in dealers from all over the world, and we talk to them about what's going on with new products and market stuff and what the plans are moving forward. So we've got a big group of people here at the Omni Hotel in Oklahoma City, and we're talking all things Ditch Witch this week. So that's why we have Brett here, and he is Subsite, I'm terrible with titles, Regional Sales Manager.
Regional Sales Manager for Subsite Hammerhead. Yep, so Subsite Electronics and Hammerhead Moles.
And Hammerhead Moles, based out of where you live?
So, obviously, not so obviously.
Yeah.
It's going to be, so I'm right in between Destin and Panama Cities where I'm at. Just moved from Tennessee about a year ago.
Little SEC country.
Full SEC country, yeah, for sure.
I like it. Good. Well, welcome to Big 12 country.
Yeah.
Well, I guess SEC too. Shoot, Oklahoma's
Yeah, it is now
Dang
SEC.
it. I got to get used to that.
We're still on everybody.
That's different. Yeah, so one thing that's viewers may notice is Brett and I have a very similar hairstyle.
You know, it's a bit of a trend.
I think it's coming back.
I don't know about coming back, but we definitely have quite a few around the office.
Yeah, with this hairstyle, is this something that you choose to go with, or were you it was mandatory for you?
I think if I didn't choose it, it wouldn't look nearly as pretty as this.
No, I think mine was going to happen too, and I was going to tell you how this got accelerated. So I was at in Stillwater, Oklahoma, and preparing for a Halloween party that we were having, and my costume had a cowboy hat on, but it was super small, so it just kind of went on the crown of my head. At this point, I had beautiful, beautiful brown hair.
Sure.
Okay, so we thought after several cocktails, it'd be a good idea if I shaved male pattern baldness into my head with a razor.
Stuck ever since.
And it never grew back.
Yeah.
And that is the honest to God truth. It was going to happen either way, but I accelerated it, and now this is my look.
So I got kind of a similar story. We were in a marketing meeting, actually here at Ditch Witch. It's probably been about 6 years ago now. My wife, I kept asking her, saying, "Hey, got this bald spot in the back of my head." "Oh, no, honey, you're good." Yeah. So we're in this marketing meeting. There's probably 30 people in the meeting, and we go through a picture, and I'm looking at this guy going, "Ren, that looks pretty familiar." Whoa, he's got a big bald spot in the back. That's me. That was the day it was shaved right there, no doubt. That was not a without question.
Well, I can tell we've got a lot of activity going on behind us. There's some banging and stuff going around, so bear with us. But it's just the environment that we're in. There's a lot of people that are excited. There's a lot of movement, and then it's going to be a good show this week.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So you talked about being from SEC country a little bit, but what does a regional sales manager for Subsite do? What is your job?
Yeah, so again, it's the Subsite Electronics, so it's tracking, locating equipment, and then on the Hammerhead side of things, it's going to be moles. So basically, my responsibility is making sure that the dealership has the appropriate amount of inventory, making sure that they have the appropriate amount of training, and then just basically helping close out deals, keeping inventory where it needs to be, and then really, to be honest with you, just there whenever we need them. So what a big job. It's kind of for lack of a better term, kind of a comfort blanket.
I gotcha.
So we'll show up on the job and help them out.
So when did you start in this role? Is this how you started with Subsite, or when did you start, and kind of what's been your path here?
Yeah, so I started about 7 years ago, roughly 6.5, 7 years ago, right into Subsite Electronics Hammerhead. It had merged at that point. Prior to 16 years of law enforcement experience.
That's where that lead-in came in. You got to tell me if you're a cop. Hey, is that a real thing? Do cops have to tell you if you're talking to a cop?
No, absolutely not.
Oh,
It's safe. Yeah, they do not.
Stay safe out there.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, so 16 years of that, moved into this, just got a phone call from actually who is my current boss now. He's got a twin brother. I've known him for probably better part of 25 years.
Who's your current boss?
Doug Moore, also involved. They had tried to get me to come work for him on multiple occasions. Kind of knew me, knew my background.
Right.
We all kind of more or less grew up fishing.
Okay.
Scott, his brother specifically. But yeah, that's kind of how I got into the business. It's been great ever since. The people, the Ditch Witch folks are just fantastic.
No doubt. So I think Doug Moore is, at least is a Tennessee fan. He lives in Tennessee. Is that where you're from?
Yeah, so
Are you a volunteer?
not a volunteer. Not really a college football fan. I'm probably going to get scalded online for that. No, so, being in Florida, I will say being in that touristy area of Florida, that's kind of one of the number one things. It's always college football season. It doesn't matter what time of year. So that comes up all the time. And I have noticed the one team that sets fire to all, and that's Go Dogs.
Yeah.
Not that I'm a Dogs fan,
Right.
but I might be a Dogs fan.
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, no, that's so I used to live in Charleston, South Carolina. I was just waiting tables there at a place called Wild Wing Cafe. I was just north of Charleston and Mount Pleasant. And I remember, it was a straight up crazy atmosphere. Clemson was playing the South Carolina home game, and everybody, I think, in the entire state was in that restaurant. And I bet I made $11 million in tips that day.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
But it's a different vibe. So you said you 16 years in law enforcement. Is that what 12-year-old Brett Romer wanted to do, was law enforcement, or did you how did that come about? Or
I'm going to merge this conversation for you all. So funny as it sounds, I had kind of a role model growing up. Around the age of about 16, I got into law enforcement. Was in an explorers group. So if you go back to the 1997 Florida versus Tennessee game, for those of you out there, that's when the goalpost came down. That was one of the first carrying out of the goalpost and throwing it into the Tennessee River. Long story short, if you look, 16-year-old this guy is running to the opposite end in the middle of the forest. So yeah, that was kind of my tease into, I think I was 22 when I started with a county agency. And then quickly, I think within 2-3 years, switched to city agency, which I stayed with. Was a patrolman for about 6 years, 5 years undercover doe for it.
undercover stuff?
Oh yeah.
Is that wild?
It's some of the most fun I've ever had in my entire life.
Really?
For sure, yeah. Just crazy stories.
I was gonna ask if you got anything that you can share, crazy story-wise, or something that jumps out to you that was like, man, I can't believe I was in that situation.
No, all the ones are probably beyond PG for here, so
You can
a
imagine.
little crazy. Yeah, you never knew what you were walking into. Every day was something completely different. You got to meet people from all walks of life. I think the coolest thing about, that particular, working dope, was plain clothes. So the respect level was way higher than what it would have been in uniform. So yeah, totally different job, but totally the same job. And it's kind of funny because even that job, people ask me all the time, they're like, out of these two jobs, how are you doing as well as you are in this job? And it's a business. It's about taking care of the customer. It depends on the situation, but obviously they're all customers. So it's been a lot of the same here.
And that's what I was going to ask too. You led perfectly into it. Going from undercover police work. Was that your next job? Was a Subsite sales guy?
Yeah. So actually, I went. I think I did about 5 years. Got out of it. Went back to the road. It's literally midnight. I can recall it. Like I said, my current boss, his brother, both of them had called, said multiple times, "Hey, come work for us." In various different jobs, not just Ditch Witch. And I'd said no on multiple occasions. My daughter wasn't of age to be driving. When I got the call on this occasion, my daughter had just turned 16. But I was standing at the foot of my bed at midnight. And got the phone call from Scott. Said, "Hey, here's this job.
Yeah, we got a spot for you.
We got a spot for you." And it's been one of the best decisions I've ever made. It's fantastic.
Yeah, so I know I get to see some trade shows around the country that we go to. And I know you go to a lot of job sites and meet with customers, go with the dealership.
Yep.
Is there any particular job that stands out to you that was just amazing? And those that are watching or listening, Subsite makes all the HDD guidance equipment, the trackers and utility locators, and Ditch Witch makes the equipment that installs the pipe and cable underground. So those two really partnered together. So that's what I was asking Brett. I know you've sent me some footage for some job sites in Kentucky, but is there anything that stands out where it was like, holy cow, I can't believe we can do this?
So in recent days, we just crossed the Yellowstone River. That shot was probably about 650 feet. It was with a 120. So that's our biggest drill that we offer at Ditch Witch. So we went out with it. I think we were right at about 60 feet deep.
This was, to me, that sounds way deep. Is that true, or is that regular? I mean, I don't know.
Most of, typical shots today are going to be somewhere under 10 feet, 3 to 6 foot range.
Yep.
Thinking in the realms of fiber, you're going to be below frost line. So that's usually typically where most of your bores are going to be. But on this one in particular, this was during the melt. River was extremely high. So obviously couldn't see. We're talking whitewater, Yellowstones. But yeah, it was about a 600-foot shot. That's great. We actually crossed it with 2 cable lines and then sent the tracker down the cable lines as we were going across.
On like a pulley?
On a pulley system.
Oh, that lets the driller know exactly where that drill head is, correct?
Yeah, and one of the cool things about our particular set of electronics, you can actually monitor that away from that particular tracker. So all you got to be with the tracker. You can stand off to the side and actually get all of your data, all of your information that you need.
Or in this case, on the bank of a river.
On the bank of a river, yeah. So matter of fact, we walked, it's probably about a 40-foot embankment just straight up before you got to the river. But yeah, the second one that I would say, I believe it set a company record here as far as depth with electronics, was a shot that was done in Mississippi. We were about 122, pushing 123 foot deep.
How long the shot was that?
I'm just going to say somewhere that 2000 benchmark. We had double 3-phase power overhead. We were literally crossing underneath a mountain. So it was, I want to say 8-inch gas we were pulling in.
Okay.
So 8-inch steel. So there's not a whole lot of bend radius. But long story short, yeah, we went straight under the mountain. Again, double 3-phase. We also had fiber, a decommissioned rail, and popped out right underneath. We were actually pulling back in I want to say 15 minutes. It was insane.
So just interference all over the place.
Yeah, interference all over the place. Like I said, 122 feet deep. It was very, very, very impressive.
How long does something like that take? If you're a couple 1,000-foot shot going under a mountain, seems like that would take a little while.
Luckily, it's Mississippi mud, so the drilling wasn't terrible. But yeah, it takes about a day and a half. We actually shot that. We shot halfway out once and ended up deciding to pull back and try to get a little deeper at that particular spot in the bore. So that took about an extra. I think we finished it in. He had it pulled back in roughly about 6 hours, 5-6 hours.
Is that typical? I know those jobs were stood out to you as kind of unique, and they were impressive because they could do that.
Yeah.
But is that a common practice for Subsite to send a regional sales guy out to customers?
I would say historically, that's not typically what we've done. I don't know. Maybe it's because of my background, but my big thing was drilling. I got attached to it immediately. That was all anything that I could be on that was a big shot.
You can't keep me away. I'm going.
I mean, it's actually kind of worked out really, really good. Most of my dealer salesmen know. They can just shout at me, and I'll make the trip out there. If it's a job that's of importance, I will certainly go. Like I said, if nothing else, I'm the security blanket. I can help calm down some nerves just being there. If something goes wrong.
No, that helps a lot.
Here's your guy. So that's it's changed a little bit. I won't say that I've changed it, but that's just the way it's been.
So, and I've seen you have a YouTube channel, I think, that you post some of these videos on, and some of them are pretty cool. I don't know if you're actually a drone pilot, but you have some drone footage. I don't know if you want to talk about how those come together or what that stuff looks like.
I have shot 2 of them. I actually shot the job in Montana, not gotten it published yet. For these guys standing around me here filming this, I know the editing process is not exactly fun.
Yeah.
So I have yet to publish that video. I do have a YouTube.
Self-promotion here.
No, I was going to say, yeah. No, actually, I was going to say the promotion there was the reason for creation was moons ago for fly tying. I'm a fly fisherman. So I created a bunch of videos for fly tying.
I see.
Shut that down, and then it became my daughter's volleyball blips.
Okay.
As much as I'd love to give myself promotion.
Right.
Now, the 2 videos, the one job particular in Mississippi, we've shown it internally. The Montana shot, on the other hand, probably we will get that out. I have a pretty good feeling that will end up on YouTube.
Yeah.
Hopefully through Ditch Witch's page.
Well, let me know. I know a guy in marketing. I'll help you get that
I
out.
think you might.
Good deal. Well, I think I could sit around and talk to Brett about some of these cool jobs that he's been on all day. But we're starting to fill up here a little bit, and I know Brett's got some stuff to do and some people to talk to, so we'll wrap up. And I do have a little agenda here that I print out, so Brett has known what we're going to talk about. But he's got question of the day written in front of him, and that's all he knows. But the question here for you, Brett, is we like to end these on something kind of fun.
Yeah.
Is how many ducks do you think it would take to beat you in a fight? Medium-sized ducks.
Yeah, I'm going to say 2.
Just 2?
Yeah, I'm pretty weak now.
Yeah, you can handle it anymore.
Too many years out of the game. What can I say?
I was going to give you at least 100.
I stopped working out right after the daughter started doing volleyball. It's been, 8 years ago.
Yeah, said enough of that.
That's the little guy now.
Yeah, I love her, not a fighter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. All right, Brett. Well, thanks for hopping on today. I know you got a lot going on here at ABC, so I appreciate you spending time with us.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
All right, everybody. We'll catch you next time. That's all we got for today. Thanks.
Well, that's it for this week's episode of Beyond the Moon. Be sure to subscribe to this podcast on your favorite platform and follow us on social media at Ditch Witch.